As the agricultural calendar moves forward into November in the northern plains, we're still trying to finish up the harvest, and that is not what we like to be doing or seeing going on this time of year. Take a look at what we're talking about this week. Cold weather continues. In fact, most of the next 2 weeks, first 2 weeks of November, still looking to be colder than average. Not as stormy as it's been. That doesn't mean there won't be any precipitation, but at least for the northern plains, upper Midwest, looks like we'll keep any big storms away from the area. The main wet area will be shifting to the east over the course of the next couple of weeks. Here's your jet stream pattern today, and it continues to be a very high amplitude pattern. Record heat up in parts of Alaska, record cold or near that down through the Great Lakes, and it will actually reinforce the really cold weather, as in sub-freezing highs will slip back down into North Dakota and northern Minnesota early on this week and likely linger throughout the week. Typical warm weather down south, but even that will shrink a little bit toward the end of the week and into next week as a cold front begins to dive on down south. So we're going to stay below freezing over most of the northern plains and quite cool down through Iowa. Next week, as we go through the second week of November, the 10th through the 16th, the jet stream kind of begins to flatten out just a little bit, lending itself toward less storminess. The cold weather will gradually shift east, but it's still going to be fairly cool across the northern plains. The really cold stuff will remain up north. Maybe one or two little bands of light snow in the northern plains this week. Otherwise, fairly rainy throughout the Corn Belt except for Iowa. Quite dry over most of the west. California fires continue. Looking at the second week on the board, looking at November 10 through 16, the Rockies will start getting some snow. Maybe one system moving up the northeast for some nor'easter snow, but most of the rain goes south. Northern plains, upper Midwest, next couple of weeks, not that much precipitation, just cold.